Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we're going to be talking about Trajan. Don't forget to stay tuned to the very end for our pounds and inches update.
All right, so Trajan, this is, it's a Mancala style game. There's a Mancala that kind of drives your action selection. But you know what? I think I explained it really well in the video. So I'm just going to let me, past Ryan, explain it to you.
Or future Ryan?
Or future Ryan, depending on how you look at it. All right, so here is our player board in Trajan. There's kind of a lot going on here. There's even more going on the main board. But let me just walk through kind of what everything is. All right, so here are where our demands are going to go. There's demands of the people. There's going to be 3 of them each round, and there's 4 rounds, 4 quarters of the game. And in those, each one of those demands, there's food, there is religion, and there is the games, like the Colosseum-style gladiator games. And 3 of those are going to come out each round. I'll show you that later. But this is where those are going to go. We're going to store those up. All your different wild things that you're going to collect are going to go there. There's going to be construction buildings that you build. Those are going to kind of go along here. You're also going to give you some free actions the first time you build something of each one of those symbols. And there's a set collection aspect of each one of those as well. So if you, for instance, build 3 of those, you'd get 10 points. If you built 4 of those, that symbol, you would get 20 points. You're going to have the opportunity to get some extra actions that you're going to save up, and you get a chance to even double those, and those are kind of going to go all right there. You're going to get extra votes for your Senate. Those are going to go there as well. And none of that probably makes any sense because I haven't explained any of the actions yet. But now it all is going to come together. This is your Mancala. This is where we're going to be doing all your action selection. Now, the way that works is basically you're going to pick up everything out of one of these dishes, and you are going to distribute them one at a time into these other dishes. And wherever you land, that's what action you take. So in this action, because we picked up 2 from there, put 1 there, that's where we landed. We are going to be taking the shipping action. Now, as far as the colors in the Mancala goes, those do not matter for taking those actions. No matter what color you place where, you're going to always take whatever action you land on. However, there are going to be some additional pieces which we'll get to, which will kind of make the colors matter more. There are 6 actions in the game. Again, 6 bowls here, and then I'm going to show you on the board where those different 6 actions take place. All right, here is our main board. This thing is ginormous. All right, so first thing, when you're moving your little pieces around on your Mancala, let's say you moved 2 pieces on your first turn. This is your tracker. This is going to move 2 pieces as well. 2 marks on that track. It's essentially going to be your timer throughout the game. So let's say on someone's turn, they moved 4 pieces all around their Mancala. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time you go around the track, you're going to reveal a new demand to the people. And then after 3 of those have been revealed, you go around 1 more time. So you go around the track 4 times. By then you will have 3 demands. In this case, we've got 2 food and then plus 1 games. At that point, at the end of the 4th round of the 4th time around that track, you have to fulfill the demands of the people. If you're able to fulfill all 3, you lose no points. But for every one that you can't fulfill, you lose increasing number 4, 9, or 15 points. At the end of that quarter, you move this up. This is now the 2nd quarter, and you keep on going until you've played 4 full quarters. Again, going around this track 4 times for each quarter. All right, so let's talk about some of these different actions that you can take. All right, so going to the Senate basically allows you to move up on that track. When that happens, you get as many points as where you just landed on. In this case, 2 points. If you did it again, you would get an additional 3 points. At the end of the quarter, whoever has the most Senate votes is going to get to choose one of these 2 tiles. And those are all victory points at the end of the game. Whoever has the second most amount of victory points is going to get the opposite tile, but on the gray side, which is worth less points. There's a ton of different tiles in the bag over there, and basically each one gives you different amounts of victory points for different things. Like this one says, 3 points for each, gold side tile you have face up. So it itself is worth 3 points, as it is gold. And this one talks about getting extra points for different resources that you have, different commodities. Speaking of commodities, let's go there next. These are the different cards over here. So when you take the shipping action, you're going to have a chance to either take one of 4 different actions, basically. The first one is draw 2 cards off the top of the deck, and then out of your whole hand, put 1 back in one of the 2 discard piles. The second action is you can draw 1 card off of one of the discard piles. The third action is you can sell some of your goods to these boats. There's 3 boats there. They all have kind of a different victory points conditions, whether you have equal cards or pairs of cards or non-equal cards, and then, more points associated with the harder ones. In addition, the first time someone goes there, they get the points printed on the blue side. The second time someone in that same quarter ships, they're going to get the gray side, which is worth less points. The fourth action, which I don't see used very often, is putting cards from your hand down on the table and then drawing new cards. It doesn't get you any points per se, but it does let you refresh your hand a little bit. And the cards that you have out in front of you that can match up some of these symbols that you got from the Senate might get you some extra points that way. Alright, so the next action we can talk about is the construction area right over here. So basically what you're going to do for that, you have a couple choices. Again, you can put one of your meeples down on the board and add it to that pool. We could do something like that. Or the other thing you can do is you can place one of your meeples on the actual construction board itself. So let's say we went here. You collect that tile, it's going to give you the victory points placed on the tile. Plus, then you place that on your board, and you're going to get victory points and special actions as well based off of wherever you put it. You're going to get extra victory points like we talked about based off how many you collect, and you might get some extra actions as well the first time you collect one of those symbols. From here on out, once you've placed your first one, all your subsequent workers in that area have to be touching orthogonally your first one. Alright, so up in the military area at the top of the board here, your people are going to be able to move around the board. So you have a tall meeple and the small meeples. The tall meeple is your leader. Whenever he goes, he follows the lines, areas that are connected. Wherever he goes, he gets to take that tile there. So let's say we did this. Whoops. We would get that tile, add it to our board. Another action we can do is we can add more meeples to that pool, just similar to how we did down here for the workers. And the third thing we can do is we can have our legionnaires, the smaller meeples, go to wherever the leader is and score that many victory points. We would get 3 in that case. The fifth action that we can talk about is the forum. Basically, you just go to the forum and you take a free tile. It's as simple as that, and there's all kinds of good tiles here. So the green ones, again, are those demands of the people. So you've got the bread, religion, and games. There are wild cards, like here we have a free card that you can use towards fulfilling some of your card objectives. We also have extra free Senate votes, and then we have extra actions. All these kind of yellow and kind of orangish colored ones go on the bottom of your individual player board. You can use those to kind of double up on an action in the future. And these kind of tiles are the same kind of tiles you're going to get from the military action as well. The last and possibly most confusing action is the Trajan arches over here. Basically, when you take the Trajan action, you can take one of those tiles, place it on your personal board wherever the Trajan arch is, and you're going to place that there on the board. Now you have an objective to go for. And you have to start with some of these on the board as well. But this one says, if you have a pink and a white together on a spot where you land with this tile, you are not only going to take the action of where you landed, but you're also going to get these victory points and that extra bonus action. In this case, there's one that actually gives you even more free actions when you use some of those yellow tiles. But there's extra victory points, there is cards that you can draw, extra meeples are going to go into your worker camps, and then you have actually some permanent demands of the people. So these green ones over here, these ones are temporary. They use them for 1 round. But if you're able to build one of those and kind of complete it using your Mancala, that's going to stay out there for the rest of the game. It can really be lucrative. Now, I know that seemed really long, and I probably went into a little more explanation than I was intending to, but that's because there's so much going on in this game. Basically, you're going to go around the board, again, 4 times on this tracker. Each one of those becomes a new quarter, so a total of 16 times around this board. Fulfill the demands of the people. You're going to get points from shipping goods, from collecting, these construction areas, from adding to your military camps, from completing your areas in your Mancala and just kind of working the Mancala, getting Senate votes and getting all the points and the resources over here as well. So many different ways to get points in this game. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game is going to be the winner, and boy, did they earn it. Alright, so yeah, I guess I went a little bit too overboard in explaining that game, but I couldn't help it because there's every aspect of the game I like, and therefore I wanted to talk about it. It's just good all around.
I really, really like the Mancala of this. I like the different colors and trying to get them to line up, and then trying to get it to line up with the Trajan, trying to land on the Trajan tiles with colors you already have, and trying to plan that out and do that. That was probably my favorite aspect of the game, was trying to work that puzzle together to get the rest of the game to work.
This is definitely a game where you have to kind of plan ahead in order to do well. You can kind of see everyone's board, and you can kind of see what they're set up to do, what actions they might be able to take, and you might try to, beat them to it by moving your main collar around and setting things up a certain way. So it's really high on the strategy level. You have to really kind of plan ahead if you want to do well. But yeah, it's just a thinking game. You have to really, I don't know how else to say this. I'm saying like the same things in different ways, but yeah, it's a.
You've become me.
This
is good. It's a good game. Did I tell you it was good?
Well, it's just I said so much earlier. Now I don't know what else to say.
So I think this game, one of the highlights of this game is the fact that there's it's a point salad, but there's still a lot of different paths to victory. In my opinion, somebody in this video may disagree with me. You can't really ignore shipping, but besides that, you could do completely different things and still have a viable chance of winning at the end of the game. And I really like that. I like that there's so many different options and that you can kind of punt something besides shipping if you wanted to and still be in competition with each other.
So Stefan Feld, we've talked about it before, one of our favorite designers of all time, if not our favorite. And to me, this is the quintessential masterpiece of Stefan Feld. This has all the elements of a Feld game that makes a Feld game a Feld game. It's got, the element of, I guess we'll call it feeding your people. In other games, there's requirements that you have to have at the end of each round. Those, all those games, religion and food. Otherwise, you're going to lose points. There's also the element of that point salad style victory points where you can get points from a variety of different ways. And it's got that high. Oh, am I boring you? Am I boring you? I'm sorry. It's got that high level of strategy. It's just got all the level of things that I've come to know and love in a Stefan Feld game, all in one game done magnificently. This is just a masterpiece of a game.
Trajan was my first favorite game. Like when we first started playing it.
First love.
Yeah, it was the first game I would have said without hesitation is my favorite game. It's not anymore. It's moved down a little bit, but honestly, not that much. I still really adore everything it does, and playing it against people, playing it against just Ryan, or playing it the full complement, I still will choose this game. When people suggest this game, at the end of the night, I get mad at them. Because, I want to play it and I want to go to sleep. And those things are, competing with each other. And I get mad at them because they do it on purpose. But, yeah, this is a game that I called my first favorite game when we first started getting into the hobby.
Yeah, I mean, this is, if you've been following along on our top 50 games of all times, this is actually appears on both of our lists.
Yes.
Because it's just that good.
All right, well, make sure to stay tuned to the very end for our pounds and inches update. You can always subscribe to us on YouTube under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. You can follow us on Facebook under Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. You can also follow us on Instagram to see the games we're currently playing under Ryan and Bethany. And if you want to chat with us, you can reach out to us on Twitter under Ryan and Bethany 1.
All right, well, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We will see you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much for staying tuned to the very end for our pounds and inches update. This is where Ryan and I talk about the things that we're doing to achieve better health in our life, and sometimes areas where we struggle. And so in Trajan, in this game, I usually do pretty well in the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter happens, and I haven't planned that far, and I kind of just flounder. I still always get second place, but I still flounder. And that's what's happening right now. I will be going back to the building that I work at, and I was just in a routine, and now that routine is being messed with again, and I just do really well with routine, and I'm kind of nervous about how I'm going to react to that, how that will affect my diet again, and I'm not looking forward to that, but I am looking forward to getting back in routine. But you know what's going to happen? They're going to change it again. I just know it. But anyway, it's frustrating. I'm in the fourth quarter right now when it comes to work.
All right, everybody, pray for us. We're going to need it.
Okay, thanks for watching.
We'll talk to you later. Bye.